Yes, that makes me think about Vegas.
It does, yeah.
Oh man. Hey, welcome to episode 9 of The Go Show. And I just did it.
Hi.
I called it The Go Show.
You did.
I think we need to have a serious prayer meeting about what we call this show because
It changes every week.
Go time is what we call this show. But when we refer to it, and that's usually a good indication of what the show should be, is, the Go Show, the Go Show, the Go Show. So maybe it's just manifesting itself as that's what it's supposed to be called. I'm Todd Revis. This is my good friend Leah Herbold.
Yes.
Welcome to we're friends right now. Episode 9 of this amazing opportunity that we have, and we just love it. We look forward to it each week because we get to share some wisdom, we get to exchange ideas and learn from you guys. So welcome to the Go Show.
As people are already commenting, it's the Go Show.
Exactly. So yeah, we have a good show for you today. The theme of today's show is Show Me Your Friends.
Yes.
And that is a teaser into the concept that, we've heard this. I've used this with my teenagers, and I'm sure every teenager's heard, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yes.
Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
Who you hang around with.
Right. You're the sum of the 5 people. When I was raising teenagers, I told my son one time, I was really frustrated, and I said, if all you hang around is losers, the best thing you can be is the best loser. Right? You'd be the top loser of all the losers. And that's true. So it's important who we spend our time around. Now, what about as adults? Does that still apply to us? And I think
it definitely does, which is what we're going to talk about. Also, if you're logging in, let us know where you're logging in from. So comment below where you are and where you're watching this from. We are interested to know.
Yes. Okay. So, when we got to talking about the research for this show, we were talking about, why is it so important to control or have some say-so in who you spend your time with?
Right.
Because even as adults, we can hang around really negative people that can affect us. And we can hang around people that are doing things that we really don't want to be doing, but it's easier to do when we're around them. So one of the things, a friend of mine in my Bible study, my life group, she said, guard your gates. And I'd never heard that put that way, but what are our gates? Our gates are our ears and our eyes. And so I know Scott and I have talked about that, like what you consume matters.
Right.
And of course we talk about it as like what we eat matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we put in our body can feed us in a positive way or a negative way. And so what we read, what we listen to, what we consume on social media, what we consume on Netflix, what we consume in the conversations we're having with the people we spend the most time with, those things matter. So if you're hearing positive things like you're an overcomer, you're a problem solver, you're a winner, then you're going to be more likely to think that way and manifest those things.
Right. I heard the saying, you're either a fountain or you're a vacuum. So you're either pouring into others and being positive, or you are literally sucking the life out of people if you are negative. And so when my kids, I use this with my kids, but if I hear them talking negatively, I'm like, don't be that vacuum. Don't you dare be a vacuum. Be the fountain. So,
and there are some people, everyone could think of somebody who, when they're around, their energy level tends to drop. And then there are people that you're around, your energy level tends to rise.
Like us.
Yeah. When we're together, we get more and more energetic.
We do.
It's that way with most of the people. Maybe most of the people I choose to spend my time with. I might be forced to spend time with somebody that is family or, in some sort of circle that I'm in that, man, I can really walk away feeling exhausted. And so I can do a lot to counteract that, maybe by just not taking seriously the things they say or trying to just be the light to them. Because maybe I'm the only positive person in their life.
True.
Remember that old story about when you have a glass of dirty water and you start pouring clean water into it, and the more you pour it, it overflows, and the dirty water eventually gets clearer and clearer and clearer.
Right.
The opposite is also true. So make sure we're pouring clean water into our friends and family and coworkers, and make sure that we're avoiding people who are trying to pour dirty water into our clean vessel.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it got us talking about I listen to Brian Buffini podcasts every day. I love it. And he had on this week on yesterday, he had on his head, what he calls his head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a coaching program for
Right.
entrepreneurs, and there's one guy who's like in charge of all the coaches. He coaches the coaches. And so he's the head coach.
Yes.
And these are all the assistant coaches. So he talked about the difference between a mentor, a trainer, and a coach. So I never really thought that there was a lot of difference, but the way he describes it is a mentor is someone who encourages you and challenges you, like an accountability person.
Yes.
That holds you accountable. And then a trainer is someone who teaches you, literally teaches you the fundamentals of what you're doing.
Right.
And you could picture this as an athlete, a professional athlete. Has a mentor, and that might be someone who's already gone through that life and is helping them navigate the waters of what it means to be a professional athlete. The trainer is building them up physically, teaching them the skills and fundamentals of how to do their job to be the best they can be on the field.
Yes.
And then the coach is more about pulling out the potential in that person because of the mentoring they're getting, because of the training they're getting. And that's assumed. And then the coach goes in there and starts helping them to reveal their best self in the right moment. And that is really cool. So when you think about the people in your life, you think, do you have a coach?
Yes, I have had a coach. And if you have a coach, write in the comments, we want to know if you are a part of an accountability group, or if you have a coach or a mentor, we want to know.
Yeah. And so I have mentors, and they're different than my trainers.
Right.
And they're different than my coach.
I've had mentors, and I've had, of course, a trainer.
Yeah.
And then I've had a coach.
Train the trainer.
You've
been trained. You're the trainer.
I've been trained.
So you're the trainer for a lot of people in our organization.
Yes.
And
but I still need to get trained.
Right.
I still need to do the work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also mentor people.
Yes.
And you encourage them, and you hold them accountable.
Yes.
And so I think it's important to discern who in your life, if someone's in your life, I don't think there's any flat line. I think they're either encouraging you or discouraging you. I think they are either coaching you or being coached by you. That brings me to another thought, which is, you should always be mentoring someone, and you should always be being mentored.
Giving back. Yes.
So that way you talk about, yes, I'm a trainer, but I'm also being trained.
Right.
I'm always learning, and I'm always teaching.
Yeah.
And so who in your life, take a poll in your mind about who in your life are you responsible for teaching and training? And if there isn't anyone, you need to find someone younger than you or behind you in the career path you're in, or the spiritual path you're on, and help them to come up, because you should, that helps you to grow as you're teaching.
I agree 100%. When I joined a coach, or I got a coach, it dramatically changed my business. And I will give her credit all day long, because she sat with me and we had the hard conversations. Her name is Jessica. She is with Real Estate Mega Moms. I literally had like my last $600 in my account, and her services years ago were like $300. And I was like, I don't have any other money. This is it. This is all I can give you. So here you go. How are you going to make me better? And she made me better because of her coaching, of her things that she told me, but she also held me accountable. So if I did not show up to my session with what she told me to do the week before, she literally cut off the screen. And I was like, wait, hold up. Like, did we get disconnected or something? But no, it was because she was holding me accountable, and I wasn't going to waste her time either, that kind of thing.
Man, that's
true story.
Yeah, that's like high level, and it's kind of scary if you think about it. I think I've avoided, if I'm going to be real.
Yes.
I've avoided that kind of accountability in my life.
It was hard
because it's scary.
It was.
And I'm a grown man. I don't want somebody telling me I'm not a middle school kid that can be, I don't know. But I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. I know that I need it. And God has put certain people in my life that tell me hard truth, and I hate it. Right. But I need it.
Yeah.
And so I guess if you're listening to this and you feel like the kind of person that thinks like me that, oh, well, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I'm a grown man. You know, it's embarrassing and I don't want to be held accountable. Well, then you're probably the
or
one.
woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mankind.
Yes.
then I mean,
maybe that is you.
Yeah. Maybe that's the sure sign that that's what you really need is somebody to tell you the truth.
Right.
Because if
it's hard.
You know, I can't watch American Idol.
Why?
You know the part where they're auditioning and the producers of the show intentionally put some really bad ones in there, and you're just cringeworthy, cringing like, oh, and it's like nobody ever told that kid that they can't sing. Like everybody in their life was telling them you can.
Yes,
sing.
you can.
You're great. You're going to be in Hollywood. You're going to be amazing. And
you can't sing.
And they can't. And so when the judges are honest with them, brutally honest with them, like Simon used to be,
right?
Then they get, I can't believe you. Y'all just don't know what you're talking about. And my mom has always told me that I'm great, right?
Right.
And it's like, no, somebody in your life needs to tell you that you have room to grow.
Yeah.
Or this isn't the right thing for you. And
it's just going to make you better.
Yes.
It's going to maybe steer you into songwriting instead of singing the songs. So
Yeah.
I love that.
So I just think that you need to make sure that the people around you that are in your life are telling you the truth. And if they can't tell you the truth, then you need to find people that love you enough to tell you the truth.
And you need to be open-minded to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Because that's not always easy. I'll say that for myself. That's not always easy.
Oh, no. Pride.
Yeah. You know me, so.
All right. Well,
what else?
So I was listening to, we were going to talk about like favorite apps or favorite podcasts.
Podcasts.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what it was. So do you have a favorite podcast?
I do. So on the lines of accountability and coaching, because I have several favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
Go Chiefs. But I would say Real Estate Megamoms.
Really?
They have their own podcast, and Jessica is one of my coaches, and I listen to her all the time. Besides Buffini.
Yeah.
I would say Buffini would
Well, you only get one.
Okay, fine. Well, that's my one. What's yours? Was it Buffini? Is that why you said that?
Yeah. Gun to my head, if you ask me like, what is my favorite podcast for accountability, for helping me to be in the right mindset to start my day, it is always Buffini, because it is usually something that makes me stand up and go, oh my gosh, that's so easy. Why am I not doing that?
Right.
Right. And
back to basics.
Because he's all about
doing the stuff.
Yeah. Basics and being productive with your time and doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
If y'all have a favorite podcast that is great for accountability, then go ahead and post it in the comments below.
Yes. So, so let's, I think I moved past something. I want to talk about accountability a little more.
Okay.
Like, you have an accountability group.
I do have an accountability group. We kind of slowed down a little bit for the holidays, but we are picking it back up. We had an awesome mastermind session. If y'all saw that video yesterday, that was just a great synergy and engagement here at our office and online. We had several agents online that got to join in. Our broker was able to host that and just ask questions. And it wasn't necessarily talking about things or a slideshow or anything like that. It was more just, what are you doing? What's working? And how can we get better?
Yeah.
And so
that's what's not working.
Or what's not.
And can you help me, all of you people that have other experience?
Yeah. So we absolutely loved it yesterday. Can't wait for part 2 on that. But with that goes accountability. So we listed a whole bunch of items and said, these are the things that we really want to do, or that's growing our business. So now it's a part of, how do we do that? And let's figure it out. And then let's actually come back and see if it's working for you.
Yeah.
Because some people love to do open houses and they're really good at it. And then some people, it's just not their thing. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful in real estate. You totally can. You just have to use the tools that work for you, basically.
I love it.
So yeah. One of the things I want to talk about is AI for real estate agents. It kind of goes with what we're talking about, because you can ask AI pretty much anything.
Can AI be an accountability partner?
You know what? As creepy as that sounds, it probably could.
Yeah.
So there is actually this thing on Facebook. It's really strange, but in your Facebook chat, you have an AI person. I know it's crazy, but it's a made up
You're talking
AI.
about Messenger?
Yeah, in Messenger.
I found that.
Did
the
you?
other day.
It's weird.
You can create
so
like,
weird.
you know, what do they call those, like GIFs, GIFs, where you can put it, you can let AI create one for you.
Right.
It's animated. And so you tell it, I want a cat crying, and it'll make it.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, this one is people. And so you can choose which person you want to talk to.
Oh.
So weird. I know, but just hold on. Instagram has it too. So you can talk to like a football coach. You can talk to a fun, energetic, artistic person. I don't think there's like a Debbie Downer in there. Hopefully there's not.
So I could say, I want to talk to a football coach and I want to ask them this question about motivation or about accountability or about hard work.
Yes.
And they'll give me like a speech.
Yep. And so you just type it in, and then it's going to just give you basically what you're needing to hear.
Whoa.
I would say it's kind of like therapy in a way, but for free.
This is, you said scary.
I mean, it is. I'm going to take you down that road. It's a little scary, but it definitely is the new trending thing. And it's there, but you can ask it, hey, what are some ways to hold me accountable? You can also ask ChatGPT. You can ask Canva. Canva has AI in it under document. It's called Magic Write. And you can say, give me 5 things that will hold me accountable in real estate this week or for the month of March. And it's going to literally give you a list of 5 things to do.
If you're a Windows person, you use Bing as your search engine and you're logged in, you can actually use their AI on Bing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It works just like ChatGPT, but it'll actually draw you a picture. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, I think that's interesting because when we talk about, we've talked a lot about habits on this podcast or in this show. If you go back,
could be a podcast. Yeah. I
guess it's basically a podcast.
Kind of.
If you go back and look at some of our previous shows, we've talked a lot about what you do every day, habits, and one of the things that AI can help you do is it can help you structure your time. You can ask it questions about time blocking and what to do. And it'll help you at least get started with a framework of how to structure yourself and how to hold yourself accountable. I really like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw one habit thing in there.
Ooh, go for it.
Because I always do.
He does.
But I was listening to Buffini yesterday and he said that somebody did a research study on successful people and unsuccessful people. He actually said rich and poor, but it's basically the same thing, successful and unsuccessful. And the difference was that successful people paid attention to their daily habits and were cognizant and intentional about it. People who were unsuccessful, whatever that means to you, were accidental in the way they approached habits and accountability. So I think if we want to be successful in any endeavor, and however you measure
how do we do it?
You have to be cognizant of your daily habits and what you're doing every day and what you're not doing every day.
True. One of the things that my coach told me from the beginning was the main thing that we focused on was time blocking. And I thought at the time, I was like, this is so basic. Why am I paying you to go over my calendar and tell me what I'm doing and what I'm not doing every day? But it was such an eye opener as to now looking forward, right? 9 years ago, that has helped me in my business today and the life work balance. That is what I contributed to, is that one session.
You have a super busy life, and you teach time blocking, and you've accomplished that. And so it's great to know that that's where that came from.
That is that's where it all came from. And I could not do this job and do it successfully without that.
Okay.
That was the one thing. Everything else is kind of fallen into place, but that one thing, like, I had to do. So we kind of talked about group partners already, which is like, who is your coach? Again, if you have a coach, let us know. Just type me in the comments, or maybe if you're wanting a coach, we want to know. We just want to know the poll and kind of get the vibe. So maybe put in there, I want a coach. So,
I see agents also. You talk about.
Yay, Julie. That's her coaches, our mentors.
Aw.
Love
so
you.
Sweet. We talk about accountability groups.
Right.
That can be a really synergistic thing where you get together once a week and we say, hey, last week we said we were going to try to do this. How did everybody do? And kind of hold it. But there are also really good ideas come out of that because there's a bunch of people, kind of like yesterday, and it was more of a mastermind setting.
Yeah.
But one-on-one accountability is a thing too. So who is your best friend in the industry that you're in that you could meet for coffee once a week? And literally,
who do you want to go to coffee with?
Yeah, who do you want to go to coffee with every week that loves you and you love them, and you want to team up with somebody, because it can feel like you're out on an island sometimes.
It can.
You know, I heard this great thing. I hope I can mess it. Oh, take the self out of self-employed. It's not all on just because you're self-employed doesn't mean it's all about you by yourself.
It's not. Yeah.
So remove the self out of that and say, I'm employed by myself, but with a team.
Right.
Who's that team? Your mentors, your coaches, your trainers. Who's a person that is maybe at the same level as you are, and you can go, hey, let's meet for coffee once a week. I'm going to tell you what I did all week. You're going to tell me what you did all week, and I'm going to say I'm going to be fair and say you could have done more, and you're going to be you could have done more. So, man, if you could find that person and buddy up, I think that would take your business to immediately better level.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's happening.
What's happening?
What's
going on this weekend and this week about like with the world, with the business?
Lots of stuff. I'm going to keep it here locally this time.
Okay.
So I think last week I kept it local too. But if y'all haven't heard, I think our last episode was on new homes and Builder Boost. So Builder Boost just dropped some amazing model home open houses. So tours where you can go tour the home. Here's an example. Thank you, producer Karen. Here's an example of one that I am just dying to go to because you get to see all of this. Meyer Ranch is the subdivision. So you're going to get to see, I think, 7 new homes in Meyer Ranch. This one is on, I think, March 21st. I'm trying to read it without my glasses. March 21st. It's a great event. It's an awesome event. It's ways for you to get out there with other individuals that are employed, just like, Todd said, and synergize together. Maybe you're nervous about doing a video and don't know how, and there are going to be tons of agents there that will help you make your videos.
Talk about being around people that are being like you want to be or doing like you want to do.
Yeah. Not to mention that they're doing a free hat bar as well to the first 100 people that come through there, which is a great thing too if you like hats. But the importance of it is not just for the hat, but it's for you to synergize, get to know the inventory, also meet up with other agents that are doing the same things that we are.
This Thursday, there's also a Perry Homes. I think it is, I'm pretty sure it's Veramundi. Oh. But there's an event. So I'll find out. I'll double check that. I have it in a text message from a friend of mine she's friends with the salesperson. But it just brings us back to, do you know all the new home communities in your area? And do you know what they're selling, what's available, what their incentives are, what the interest rates are, so that you can be ready when I'm not going to have a whole show on new homes again, but me.
He's very passionate about it.
I love it. And every day I go visit another builder that I've never, or at least in the other office that I haven't been to, so I can meet the person and that sells there, so they can tell me what's going on in there. And then it just so happens that I meet somebody the next day that needs a home, and I want to tell them about that new home because I know the territory. So
right. And we talked about that yesterday, was video marketing also too. So that's just a great way for you to get out, do a video at a new home, and post that on your social medias.
One of my takeaways from our mastermind yesterday about that, and I think it was Melinda Barth who said it, was that, she doesn't look at video marketing or posting new homes or all this real estate stuff that we post online as like a direct, I need to get a lead, so I'm going to post this and hope I'm going to sit there and stare at it and hope a buyer comes to me. It's more of an indirect communication to your sphere. Anyone who sees you, or friends of friends who see you, is going to say, oh, that's right, they do real estate. And I've had that happen too. When sometimes it's Jeffrey and I are being silly, and we post something about our real estate team or I'm at the office doing that. And I'll have a friend that I haven't talked to, or a person I know that I haven't talked to in 30 years that private messages me and says, hey, my mom needs to sell her house. Can you call me and let's talk about it?
Yes.
Really? That's not why I did that video, was because she was going to call me, but it just happened that way because they remember. Some people just remember that there's a type of marketing where every week you open up, back when we had newspapers, we would open up the Sunday.
What's a newspaper?
Remember, you'd open up the Sunday paper and there's like a tire ad from Pep Boys, buy 3 get 1 free.
Right.
Every week there was and they're still that way. There still are newspapers, and when you open them up, you'll see tire ads, and you're like, why are there tire ads every week in the paper? Well, the reason is one time this year or next year, you're going to need tires. True. And they're hoping that day you'll open that newspaper and remember, oh yeah, that place has a good deal on tires. And so we have to use that mentality. And so every time you put out a new home thing or a real estate thing or an interest rate thing or a whatever you're doing, a success thing or a question, just engaging your people, remember that is like a tire ad.
Yeah.
And everybody knows somebody who's going to buy or sell real estate this year.
Right.
And so if you're working with your database and your sphere of influence, your CRM, then those people are going to see that. And when it's time for them, they're going to let you know.
They're going to call you.
Yeah. You're building future business every time you make a post.
Yes. And have fun with it. She did say that too. It's fun for her because it's not lead driven. It's just fun.
That takes the stress out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. All right. The other thing I was going to say is, not today and not yesterday, but it was feeling like spring selling season for a minute.
March 1st.
It is March 1st. Yeah.
Spring is here.
So spring is here. I don't know when the official day for spring is.
March 20th, 21st.
You don't know. But it probably is around there. So spring selling is here and buyers are out. So one of the things that we also talked about was mega open houses. And I think she was on here earlier with Brandy talking about doing those. So you need to have your signage out. You need to, spring has sprung. Yes, it has. Hopefully this cold weather goes away. Producer Karen can bring up, excuse me. There you go. There's an open house sign. So we were talking about this yesterday, having your directionals made so that way you can point them to the house. Work on your branding, work on getting signage out, whatever company that you are working for. Just make sure that people know where to go and point them in the right direction.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for, as listings, as we get into March, there are a lot of people I've talked to over the last 6 months that said, I'm going to wait till the spring. The spring. So I have several people to call now that it's March 1st and say, okay, it's spring. Yeah. Let's go. So I think a lot of listings are going to come on the market soon.
Yes.
I really believe that the amount of listings is coming up because those people have been waiting for the drop, are just like, I can't wait anymore. Let's go.
Slow down,
they don't want to miss this spring buying season, right? So they want to have their home out there as one of the homes. So I think inventory of resale homes is going to increase in my mind over the next 2-3 months through May, right?
Yes.
Hoping to close them by July, August. And so what that means to me is, especially in an office like ours that's really big, you have maybe each agent could have three listings go live. They can't do open houses in all 3 of those. So if you're an agent who's getting started or just doesn't have a ton of stuff in your pipeline, be the open house expert. And you can go to Tom Ferry and learn how to do an open house. They have the mega open house, which is like 20 signs and certain door knockers 2 weeks before. There's all kinds of ways of doing it at a high level. And so it could get to a point now where I'm saying, okay, I have this listing coming live this week. I can't be at an open house, but I want somebody to do it. You know who I want to do it? Somebody who's going to do it at a high level.
And somebody that we just saw advertising.
Yeah.
So we're going to choose that agent.
Be the person that if you want to make that a part of your business, make sure you have a plan.
Be the fountain of open houses.
Are you going to bake cookies? Are you going to bring orange juice? Are you going to have balloon?
Wait. What did she say yesterday, Brandy? Brisket. And Botox.
Brandy's on the podcast. Yeah. She was like brisket, and Scott goes,
bring some brisket.
Brisket sells houses, Texas. Bro. Brisket sells houses.
I would go. just for the brisket.
You know what? I have a pellet grill. I could just turn the pellet grill on and let that wafting oak smell come through the house and smell like a Rudy's barbecue. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I don't know what the homeowners would think, but yeah, get permission first too.
If they have one of those metal stars on the front of their house, they're probly cool with it.
They're cool with it.
Yeah,
totally. They'd probably bring the sides for you.
She says,
What,
"LOL, brisket and bow ties." That's what
I
she
think
said.
That would be such a fun open house.
You are not my accountability partner.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Oh, really? We're going to hold him accountable to it.
I'm never done.
Okay. Don't say never, because you never know.
Anyway, moving on. Okay, so
industry news.
What's happening is the open house. It's spring buying season, spring selling season. Get it, and also follow up with any of those listings that have been waiting.
Yes.
And, cool. All right. So industry news. The things I wanted to highlight from the industry news. One of them is I really like last week when we were talking about new homes. I said know the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what's going on in your new home market. Well, what's exciting about that is that new homes are selling. I visited a new home place last week, and the guy said they've sold since January. They've sold 15 homes. I mentioned this last week, and 80 to 85% of those were accompanied by a real estate agent, which is awesome. So it's not like the builders have this secret marketing technique that we don't know about, and they're bringing people in without having realtors. It doesn't. They are marketing. You see them all over your Facebook, but it doesn't. That's not driving the traffic. We're driving the traffic. Realtors are driving the traffic. So if they're selling 5 to 7 homes a month in some communities, I want you to be the one helping those people. So make that a part of your business and come to me or Leah if you have any questions about how to do that, or go listen to last week. That's part of it. So that's a new home comment. Industry wide, something I never did that I'm doing now is I want to be an expert at my hyper local market, right? Everyone, the people, general population of the United States, buyers and sellers, potential buyers and sellers, they hear the news about interest rates. They hear the news about, it's about to be a bubble crash. It's about to be a bubble burst, all these things. And that's not true.
Crazy.
Because real estate is hyper local. So what's happening within 25 miles of your office or your house is what matters to you. And where one market might be sales are down 5%, you could be up 5%, or housing prices are dropping in Washington, D.C., but they're rising in Rhode Island. Who cares? I care about what's happening for me personally in Central Texas, from North Austin to South San Antonio and points in between. That's what I care about. So what's happening in that market, and how do I find that information out? That's the point. Industry news today is I found a new podcast that I love. Actually, Frank Basono, who I think is an awesome agent, told me about this thing. It's called BAM Hot Sheet. BAM, like BAM. Hot Sheet.
Do it again.
BAM.
Okay.
Hot Sheet. And it's about 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a little less, every day. They literally every day, this guy, I think he's a realtor from the Dallas area. I don't know.
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he basically looks at it from the mindset of a stock market thing, like S&P 500, and he follows kind of the data. So it's like daily updates. And so like yesterday, you're getting information about what happened in January, not fourth quarter, of 23. It's more up to date. And all these stock market people are really high on new homes.
Yes.
Like DHI, the stock exchange DHI, which is D.R. Horton, is trading really high. So that's a good thing. They're hitting their numbers. And so how are they hitting their numbers? They're throwing money at realtors, they're throwing money at buyers, they're throwing money at buying down interest rates, and they're trying to build smaller, less expensive homes for first-time home buyers. So that's the Goldilocks of the buyer industry right now, and everybody's high on that. So I would say, how can you spend 15 minutes a day researching your local market? Like what's new going on? What if you're working with a buyer one day and they say, I saw a bunch of construction out there on that highway about a mile from this new home community. Do you know what that is? If you don't, they have the internet. They can research it.
Right.
You're the expert. Be the expert. So BAM Hot Sheet is a good place to start. I want you to fall in love with learning about your local market.
Aww.
Because then you'll be the pro that they're looking for, and you'll have value that you provide to your clients.
I love that.
Yesterday during our mastermind, I got an email from a lender that said he had 100% FHA product.
I got that.
So I started Googling it, and I'm talking to my favorite lender, who is a model mortgage guy, and saying, can we do 100%? What it is a second lien. The 3.5% down that you normally would pay for an FHA mortgage is a second lien. And that, so let's say on a $300,000 house, that would be like $11,000 or $10,500 down payment. That has a higher interest rate on it, like 2% higher. It could be an 8% interest rate on it. Okay, that's only on $10,000. The other one is a normal rate. And my biggest question was, you know how we talk about buying down interest rates, the seller contributing funds to be able to buy down the rate, either a 2-1 buy down or just a permanent buy down, or a builder doing that. How about, yes, you can do that. So I could help my FHA buyer, and the limits are up to like 700,000. It's really awesome. So all you need is a 600 credit score in some cases, or maybe 620. So when you're talking to a person that like, yeah, I'd love to buy right now, and I have a great job, but I just don't have a bunch of savings. I'm not a good saver. Well, we have a way of a lower barrier of entry for you to get into this thing and be able to buy a house, when otherwise they'd have to do a down payment assistance program that might cause them to have a higher interest rate on the whole amount. So I just want to tease that. And I want you to call your favorite lender and ask them, can you do 100% FHA? And what are the terms of that? And then I can start marketing that.
Right.
Like, hey, everybody, I'm the realtor that knows how to get you a 0 down FHA with a not a great credit score. And we can make this happen so it can boost your own sales.
Yes. All right.
I just wanted to share that because I get excited about things like that.
Good info. Well, if you are watching the replay, please comment and let us know. And we look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yeah, that was fun.
Next Friday. Bye, guys.
Yep. Have a great day.